What's up, uh, YouTube peeps? Now, I'm well aware that uh, anytime I've gone live, I get about 6 people. So, what's up, 6 people? If I get to that, but either way, I wanted to just share with you guys a couple things. Kind of what I've been working on, what I'm doing, as well as where I've been into, I haven't been posting a lot on YouTube, and YouTube is one of my favorite platforms because I love video. And I don't know if you guys know this, but many years ago, I've always had a camcorder. I've always recorded me and my friends and my family, camping trips, birthday parties, ski trips. I have a whole library of mini DVs and 8 millimeter uh, footage that I would love to transfer over to be able to share because I can't even imagine the moments that are on that. So I've always, good morning, uh, KJ. I'm sorry. So I've always been able to capture those moments because I just think it's dope. It's dope, a moment in time where you can capture it on camera. So YouTube is I guess a natural kind of thing for me, right? Because I get to capture it in for example, I'm live now, which is kind of cool. So real quick, as before I get into my bigger spiel here, wanted to share with you guys a couple of dioramas that I've created recently. So I am currently working on, or almost finished, that over there is the comic book shop. It is huge. So that is, I just got the file that I needed for the logo, or the file of the logo that I need for the storefront. So I can finally print that out and I can start to prepare to ship that. I already have a big ass box. You see those sneakers right there. I have to clean those sneakers. I usually wipe down my sneakers on the sides before I put them back in the boxes. But anyway, I haven't even made my bed. But anyway, just because I'm about to get back into bed and watch Moon Knight, actually, right after I finish going live with you guys. So that's pretty much done. Then I have this over here. I have this WWE, or excuse me, WWF at the time, Royal Rumble, 2000 Royal Rumble WWF event, and this is pretty much done. The last piece was this graffiti part with the cannon, what have you. That was able to now put together with the comic shop logo. And here you can see a front of, I finished the awning the other day, and you can kind of see um, the front of it. So it pretty much has that awning now. I just need to, right above there, need to put the storefront logo. Just need to paint these walls in that same tan as well as the bottom. So that's pretty much the last part that I need to complete that dial. And then with this dial, I just need the Royal Rumble logo to be printed up, and it's gonna go right above the WWF logo, kind of on the black up there. So these are the two projects that I need to ship out very soon. Again, just waiting for a couple pieces. Unfortunately for me, and this is, it's my issue. I don't have a color printer at home, so I rely on a color printer at work. As I don't use it often, it's not a lot that I need to print. So we still haven't gotten color in at the job yet. So what I'm gonna do is just create some files, head over to like a stamp or something like that, and have them printed on even better quality stock paper. So the logo for the comic shop is gonna look really good. The Royal Rumble logo is gonna look really good. So I'm excited for that. But in the meantime, as I've been waiting for those things to kind of pan out, I was also waiting for a couple of supplies that I finally got in, specifically the awning supplies. Uh, you know, this year's been a crazy year. This year has been, man, listen, the first 3 months of this year, they just knocked me on my ass. I had surgery. I went through some personal things. My daughter moved out of state. My youngest, who's 18 years old, moved out of state. Um, man, it was. I had a friend that passed away. It was the first 3 months of this year really hit me hard, and it was hard to focus. It was hard to breathe sometimes. It was a lot of crazy shit happening. Luckily, I'm a pretty positive person for the most part, and I also believe strongly in and energy, so part of me recharging was I took a little vacation to Tampa, Florida. Went to familiar locations there, was able to go to the beach, was able to it was just a great a great time, and it started to lift away that heaviness of the first 3 months of the year. And things started to feel so much better when I got back. And then I just saw this picture one day on the internet, and it was something like that. This was the basis of the window was bigger. I had a window above, the building was taller, but I had a piece of foam just sitting there, and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna create something for Detolf, for an IKEA Detolf. And IKEA Detolf, for those of you guys who don't know, is pretty much this thing here. It's just this you know this glass shelving unit. And so those dioramas, people, for the most part, people use these to display their figures in various ways. I personally use them more for storage. This is really storage. They're all stored together, and I can see what I need to grab if I'm going to do action figure photography. I also get to admire the stuff that I collected over the years. What people do, a lot of the collectors, they'll put up a diorama in here, and the diorama, they'll basically put these, for the most part, not as many figures, but they'll make a scene where it's either a fighting scene, a flying scene, just a team scene where they're all just together, kind of similar to this. So people tend to fill these dioramas with different or excuse me, these details with different dioramas. A few videos ago, I did a complete one, all 4 shelves plus a rooftop. So I've done, and that's the second time I've done like a whole 4 shelf detail build. And so a lot of times people will ask for dials that fit into these. So had that board, I said, you know what, let me just rock this out real quick. But you know what, because I have no timetable, I'm a flex. I'm just gonna just go based off that picture, and then go from there. So I added the little wall, added the fence, and all of this is materials I've used 100 times. This is gutter mesh wire, or gutter wire mesh. I don't even know how it's really, but it's so they used to. So this is they used to make them where the fence was a little bit more in scale to the figures, and then the formula changed a little bit, and now it's like the holes are a little bit smaller. I mean, it still works. It still works, but I like this is the old one, and I don't feel like reaching it for the new one, but there's a slight difference. So this time around, generally I'll use zip ties to kind of tie the mesh to the dowel rods, and in this case, instead I use like wiring, just bendable wiring, which is more in line to what how it looks realistically. And so decided to go in that direction, and I thought that looked good. As always, these are magnetized first. So for example, this piece, magnetize the bottom, magnetize in the back, magnets are there, they just fall into place. Use some fake moss. These are little, I legit cut out like little in scale letters and what have you, and then I dipped them into water and tacky glue solution, brought them out, kind of threw them on there, and then let them dry. So now they're hard, but it's that paper. Again, some dirt. I've done this with the Wolverine crucifixion dial. I got better at working with dirt, so now I can make it so that the dirt is, looks like dirt, but again, giving it the combination of tacky glue and water, it dries really well and solid, and it's able, like for example, back there was a gap between the brick and the floor, and I just piled up the dirt a little bit more to kind of eliminate the gap, but the dirt, dried, really well, and it worked out. And then this was the first time that I think I took, basically what I did is I took the insulation foam, and I put it through the pros on and made it really thin, and it made it easy to bend here. So I kind of like that feature where it was just like a smooth bend there. The doors are just again foam, pretty much foam pushed back in, and this is me using that wire brush to kind of create the wood effect, and then this is just or balsa wood. I think this was balsa wood. Kind of these trims, and then this was just like actually, you know what this was? This was it's like a little keychain type of thing, and they're kind of shaped like that. So what I did is I cut it and I put it in. I thought it worked good in scale with that door. I have some other ones that I just felt were a little bit too small for this bigger double door. Up here, pretty much this is, and if you go to my Instagram, you'll see I put a reel up where I kind of do little clips of creating this dial. But this is just a piece of plastic, pretty much. And then I just put a pin in there, and then these are two little foam boxes that I have from these weird little foam sets that had these little cubes. I don't know where I found them, but a lot of times I find anything and it was foam, so I was like, oh, I'll just keep it. But it was, kind of made out of foam sheet, but shaped. So I used that. And in the back, I used the black paper, and then it's got spray painted together. That's a do-it-yourself straw. But and then this is wiring from a phone wire thingamajiggy. The windows, this is actually plexiglass, that kind of that hobby plexiglass. Actually, this is not the hobby. This is the thicker one. It's a little bit thicker than, because there's one that's thinner. This one's a little bit thicker. And then I put vellum paper in the back, and the framing was basswood. And it was just individually cut and fit, so it was from scratch. What else? Yeah, and then that's pretty much it for this one. So what I did is I originally finished this one, and I was like, all right, cool. I challenged myself. I liked how it came out. Perfect. Let me sell it, because I really don't, as you guys see, I don't have much space. This is I am packed, son. I mean, it works. I don't feel cluttered. I feel I know where everything is, but it really it's a lot. It's a lot. So for me to keep more dials here, it just doesn't make sense. Even, I mean, that the wrestling one there on the top will be gone, but I don't like it to, I want my space to kind of be, I want these figures to shine, son. I love my figures. So I don't have much space even on the floor, where I have my the AC, which should be going back in the window in a couple of months. But that big ass that big ass legends figure. So I don't have a lot of space to just keep these dials, man. So my first thought is, cool, I'm gonna finish it, I'm gonna sell it, and it's gone. So I tried to sell it, and nobody was interested. So I was like, all right, cool. So I raffled it, and it raffled off in 24 hours. It was great. It was great. So usually the way raffles work, because I think I'm gonna raffle that one as well. I'm about to get into that one. I'm not done with that one, but wanted to kind of share these two as I need to mail this away. So the way this works with the raffles is I'll set up on Instagram, I'll set up 30 spots, right? And you claim whatever spot you want, and I sell the spots. So for example, let's say you wanted or spots, whatever. 1 through 30, you wanted slot 15 and slot 21, and I was selling those for $10 a piece. It would cost you $20 to put your name in those two slots. And we continue. So pretty much once all the slots sell out, I do this. There's a website called Spinwheel. So I put everybody's name who bought a spot, and then it spins and it eliminates people, and as you eliminate it, you're gone, and whoever's left standing wins the dial. So the person who actually won this diorama that I was trying to sell for $250, the person that won had bought 2 spaces, so she ended up winning it for $18, as that's how much the slots were. There were $9 a slot. She bought 2 of them, so she paid 18, no shipping. I cover the shipping. $18, she got this. I mean, to me, yo, if I would have paid $18 and got this, bro, I would have been over the moon. Like, yo, good for her. And it's a person that lives in the Bronx, and I love the Bronx. I love New York. So now it's on to this one. Same deal. This time I didn't have any foam at home. Foam home. But because I did this one, and oh, that's the other thing. I straight up finished that one in like 4 days. I just went wild. I had nothing to do. Life has been feeling better. I've been more inspired. You know what I mean? Like, I was just feeling it. I was like, yo, man, I need to work. I need to these good feelings, I need to flex them and make them a tangible thing. And for me, that's usually artwork. So this is a docking station that's in a neighborhood called Jamaica Plain that's close to where I live. And let me see if I can get this light from the back here to bend over and shine in here a little bit without shining on the camera. So with this piece, what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of take bits and pieces from that dock in whatchamacallit, Jamaica Plain. So the name of the town is Jamaica Plain. So what I did is years ago, dude, 2014, I drove by it, saw it, got out of the car, took a few pictures, right? But because now we have like the cloud and I have it activated, all my pictures go up into the sky, which is great, and I just pull them down whenever I need them. In the way I pull them down is I try to remember the year, whatever. But generally, if I the location always helps. If I'm like, yo, I know this was in Roxbury, which is another little town in Boston, then I'll pull up Roxbury, so it'll give me a good idea. So I drove. So I thought of it the other day after I finished that one. I was thinking, I want to do another like detail dial because that only took me 4 days, really. So by the way, this is day 4. So I'm almost done. I'm not completely done. The floor still needs to be done. I still need to add rust. The airbrushing. I still need to add some more coloring to the tin roof there. I want to add like a light, a non-working light, because this is kind of a abandoned, no one's really using the space type of idea. And so I'm not done. So the point is that I was like, yo, what should I do? And I remember, yo, that'll be cool to have like some sort of dock, but like with little tin roof. Like it just and I remembered that spot. Went back to Jamaica Plain. The spot has changed. The docking station, and at some point I'll post pictures for you guys. The docking station is a little more kept up. Like they painted in the whole front here, and it's now like solid wood. And the door was painted. That door used to be completely rusty. It got painted in brown. By the way, in the actual pictures you'll see this section, then there's like a little window. This door isn't placed till over there, but I just decided to bring the door because I wanted to, and it was also kind of that I hadn't really worked in creating a metal looking, those old school tin door, metal looking doors. So I had no idea how to approach it, man. I don't know. A lot of times I'm doing these things, I'm like, I don't know. Let's see if this works. So I took cardboard from the inside of a Marvel Legends action figure. The artwork is for okay, give me 1 second, Victor. The artwork, like I guess the inside, there's artwork when you open up a Marvel Legends figure. And so it's a cardboard. It's a really thin cardboard. So what I did is I cut out pieces. I saw the picture of the door, and I a little bit difference in terms of the pattern, but there's the idea. And so I said, if I put these pieces of cardboard on the foam door, will it work? Will it work? So I did, and I thought it came out okay. I'm still gonna, put a little more coloring to the door, try to, bring it out a little bit more. But so far, I like it. Also, in the original dock, the walls are stained in some areas, so I kind of did a little something different where I stained certain sections versus over here it's more airbrushed. Thank you, Paul. It's more airbrushed. And then these are supposed to be kind of those sliding doors. Obviously, it's not necessary for me to make it working doors. That's a very difficult thing to do. Not impossible. It can be done. I've done it before, and I think if I tried it, I can rock it out real nice. But it would just be an extensive, time-consuming type of project. And in this case, this is more for display. So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Um, because it's just for display, I'm just gonna keep it as a door that doesn't open up. But the idea is kind of those doors that slide from the right to the left, and they slide on that track. And still need to put a kind of a door handle there. So these are not together. These are two separate dials. This one's already been sold. This one I'm probably gonna end up raffling it as well, because I actually had a good time with it. It was kind of cool. It was like it went down to the wire, and then one of the peoples that was the last 3 people, one of them was a friend of mine that I know, a good friend of mine. And so, obviously he's my boy, and I'm like, man, that'd be great if he wins it. What's up, man? And so he didn't win. He didn't win, but it's hilarious because he lives in New Jersey, and the person who won wins in lives in the Bronx, rather. So it was kind of cool that it still stayed northeast, which is also cheaper to ship. So I'm not mad at that. Part of what I wanted to do here, and again with the idea being to continue to test myself, to continue to try my best to make things look realistic, to just get better as an artist, man. That's really where my head has been at. Again, after these first 3 months of the year, it sucked. These first three, man, it really a lot. Yo, people suck, and yo, what the fuck? But anyway, you survive, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and all that good stuff. So what I wanted to do here is, and again, I'm improving, I'm getting better. I think this is a great step forward in trying to make wood look kind of old and a little mossy and a little, slippery, and it's kind of been like that deck's been there for a while. The nails were definitely something that was in the original. So what I did is I just actually used a black paint marker. I'm a graffiti artist. We love these paint markers. So it's just Sharpie, black Sharpie. And what I did is I just kind of just drew in pretty much just dotted in the nails there. And I thought it was a better look than actually going with individual nails, because I do have some, but I felt like they're a little too big for this. And then the pins that I have are too long, and I just didn't want to deal with, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, I don't know, 75 pins. I was like, nah. So we just went with just using the paint marker. And again, the floor still needs to be worked on. Yesterday I put in the yellow, then I kind of put the sun of, I guess, that diluted kind of brownish, blackish brownish stains there on the yellow. Did the same thing, got a little darker there at the bottom, so I still have to kind of do some stuff on the floor. Thank you, Victor. I appreciate it. And Victor, I am gonna ask you a question. Give me a sec. I haven't forgotten about you. And so I still need to airbrush it. I'm still not happy with the consistency of how the door looks in terms of the paint. So I got to work on that. But yeah, this is coming together. I woke up this morning, and I sleep here, as you see. I haven't made my bed because I'm literally, once I'm done here, I'm gonna go watch Moon Knight episode 5 before I start getting ready for work. Uh, and I also need to get this one ready to get shipped. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a great week. I have a friend that's coming in from out of town. It's gonna be a great weekend, man. So I wanted to just share with you guys where I've been in terms of, I know I haven't been posting a lot of videos. Oh, and this is the other thing that happened. So check it. At one point, I went on Instagram and I asked everybody to give me questions. What questions would you have? And I wanted to do a whole video, and I made it like interactive, bro. I mean, like, I was working on these different dioramas. So as I'm answering questions, I'm using examples of these dioramas. And for whatever reason, my camcorder, just the computers at work aren't reading it. And I don't have any laptops here or any desktops here at home. So they're not reading the camcorder. So I may need a new camcorder. Man, I've had it since I've had this YouTube channel, 8 years. So maybe it's time to get a new one. I don't mind. I can invest in a new one. But that's probably one other reason why I haven't uploaded a lot of things, is because I can probably update more if I had that camera. But you know what? Going live works just as well. And then this is just the corrugated cardboard. And then what we did is, I kind of went off the pictures, the reference, how they had kind of beams in the bottom, and kind of how there is that opening there. I also tried to make it as detailed as possible with kind of put a little bit of the rivets there. And I still want to do a little more in terms of, like, for example, this bar here has these other kind of parts that I guess clamp it into the wall. So I need to kind of create that and make sure I can put those in. And just those little levels of details is what I'm trying to be with my work, where I'm adding these little things that, in all honesty, a lot of times they'll get lost in the picture, because the idea is for the figures to shine. It's just a background for the figures. Yeah, I love action figures, so these dioramas are made to highlight them. They're on the stage, but the stage isn't the act. The act is the figures, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. So although these little details may disappear, into nothingness. For example, one of the things that I love is I can create these little signs where you can kind of, it's this aluminum paper, so you can bend these back and forth. But I mean, who knows that's happening when you're taking the picture, right? Like no one, unless you're mentioning it and what have you. But it doesn't matter. I still want to put those details so that they look really good, regardless of the situation and regardless of whether those little details don't show up in pictures. They may not, but that's not for me to figure out. For me is to make the piece as dope as possible and then go in that direction. But anywho, just wanted to show you guys where I'm at with that. I'm still working on this beast here. Yo, and it's funny because I'll have a little bit of time, and instead of like focusing on this, and this is this came with the Sentinel there. So I want this piece to kind of go and destroy so I don't know how I'm gonna do it. So I can like maybe grabbing a figure and pulling them out so the window's ripping out, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's why I haven't really gotten into it, because I'm not sure what I want to do for a destruction, because then these pieces are gonna be on the base of this, and these are the Marvel Legends pieces that came, but this is gonna be on the base of this, so it's gonna be a whole destroyed 2 foot by 2 foot dial, made specifically of the Sentinel destroying it. And so I think that's why I've been stuck. Is just like I'm not sure how I'm gonna destroy it, but once I do, there's no going back. And so this is all set. I have even the back walls are magnetized. Like it's all magnetized. It's good to go. And I'm just stuck. I'm just stuck on how I'm gonna destroy it. So in these situations, I don't rush it, because I feel if you rush it, then it's not really. So because I have all these other little projects and still working on other things and all that, I'm not sweating it too much. It'll come to me when it comes to me. All right, y'all. I'm at like almost half an hour, and I want to go see Moon Knight. So I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Oh, Victor, my fault. Victor, I didn't answer your question. My fault. So, Victor, my advice to you for a first time diorama maker is something simple. I think a lot of times we see stuff like this, right? So you'll come to Al Figure's page and you're like, yo, but I saw this doc and I think I could create it. Yo, bro, there's no way I could have done this in year one. It's just, I would have used dowel rods. It would have not looked right. I mean, I just wasn't ready. And so the best thing to do in terms of a first time project is just do like a little corner 12 by 12, 12 inches by 12 inches on an 12-inch floor, so it becomes 11 inches deep, 11 inches long, and it just make it like a corner, kind of how this is, and just a corner. And maybe do a door. Exactly, maybe do a door, and then a half brick wall and a half cement wall, you know what I mean, where you don't have to worry so much about a bunch of bricks, or you don't have to worry about trying to cut in a window. To cut in a window, even now, it's still not an exact science for me. I still mess it up sometimes, and you have to, because what happens is that, so if I wanted to, I can use the proc saw and cut through it, and I've done something like that before. I rarely I rarely stay away from that, because then you have to replace the piece that's gonna be cut out. So windows aren't the easiest things in the world to start with. Doors are a little easier because at least you're cutting you know what I mean? So just make sure that you're measuring. So for example, for this door, let's say this is 3 inches, so I'm measuring from here to here's 3 inches, here to here's 3 inches. So now I have this perfect line that's just gonna match up, so it's not gonna be crooked. So I already have my door. And then from this section, whatever, however wide the door is going to be, let's say it's going to be 4 inches, you just go 4 inches, mark it from here to here, here to here. And then at this point, now you mark it here, and you do two of them. So you do one a little lower, one higher, and then as high as you want to go. So let's say it's 7 inches. So then you're going to put the ruler there, and you're going to take your X-Acto, not for your box cutter. In this case, it should be a box cutter. You can start with his X-Acto, but box cutter, and then you're going to slice it down on the ruler. I use a metal ruler so that the blade stays, it doesn't cut into the ruler. And just make sure that when you're cutting, that you like the blade isn't to any wide angle. Try to make it as straight as possible. Stand over it. Put your your weight pretty much on the ruler, and then you're cutting with your other hand using the X-Acto blade. But make sure that you're not shifting to any side, so you're not making it an angle cut. Just try to keep it as straight as possible, so you do not, like a kind of a slice. Then you get a little bit deeper and you kind of slice it out, and then so it becomes easier because you're slicing both sides, and then you're just going from here to here at that point using the same technique, and you're good to go. So to me, that would be my suggestion for a first diorama. Maybe like a little alleyway, a little corner alleyway, with a door, and and then practice painting it and so forth, because it is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But I keep saying I'm out of here, and I am out of here because it's time for Moon Knight, and I'm out. Peace out, guys.